What you and Clemson have kind of developed a rivalry is the big football schools. Is it good for the ACC for you guys to be
I think it definitely is. I think it definitely is. I think it's great for anything. You know,
for them to be top 10 in the preseason.
Oh yeah, I think it's great. I think it's really good.
Jimbo, you're opening for the first time as a head coach against a pretty named opponent. Pitt. How does that change going into this for you guys? Obviously, the players said it motivated them a little bit more.
It does. I think you have a better summer. I think you'll have a better fall camp. I think you'll see more attention to detail quicker. I think you'll lock in more. And I think depending on how, as we judge our team as we go, how early out do we really start game planning and putting them in those situations? I mean, and getting them in a comfortable situation to win that first game.
Was that important to you to get an opponent of that?
I think it's great.
Opposed to what you had the last time?
I did. Ideally, you'd like them in a more of a non-conference situation with a significant opponent. I think I think those are good, but it is a tough. But I think it's good. I have no problem with that.
Even though I think the last time you were on the road in conference of the season was that Clemson game, your first year as an offensive coordinator.
Yes, and that's when we didn't have 5. We were inside for 5 straight days and didn't get to practice outside because of weather. And it showed. Because remember, we played a bad first half, and in the second half we played well and almost come back and won the game. But I mean, we couldn't because it is 5 days of not being outside hurt us. Oh, that won't happen no more. No. We might be inside. We'll have a field practice on.
How much with the change of quarterback is it realistic to expect the offense to change? I mean, would you be more likely to be more run heavy with a new quarterback, or do you change how you call plays?
Depending on what he's capable of handling, what he's capable of doing, and how the guys around him are playing, and what we think will work in that game. That's what we'll base it off of.
But at the end of the day, it's your offense.
It's still the same system. The system's not going, because if you change that for him, then you change everybody else. The one thing you have is the constant that they've been through it so long and been so productive in it. I mean, so you also, when you change it for him, you change it for them. So is that always a good thing?
The guys you've had as Jamie's traits, what traits are similar to what guys? It's like physically, mentally?
We'll wait and see how they go. I mean, he has a chance to be a very good player, but we'll have to wait and see. And I don't like comparing guys. I think guys are all different. I really do. I think it's tough to compare guys. I really do.
Going back to the opener, a game of that stature, about how far out do you start really looking at?
Well, I think that it depends on the maturity of your team and what goes on. But I mean, you can start a week and a half, and get an extra 3 or 4 days in there that they feel comfortable with what you know. But you don't want to go too early because you bore them with it. They get bored. They get this. I've seen it, and I've had it happen in different schools I've been at where it became very stagnant and actually cost you not to play as well. You do it too early.
How much more pressure will you bring under Pruitt than you would with Mark?
I think each game plan will be determined. I think we have more multiplicity of things to be able to do that's within our scheme. But how much more we do will base on what we have to do to win the game.
You would have already had to blitz more this year anyway, though, without Carradine and without Bjorn.
You'd think so. But again, also, where does how you scoring on offense? I think that all depends on, again, not just you're making that decision based on defense alone. All right, is the offense, are you ahead more? Are you not ahead more? I mean, I still think there's a fine line there. We have to be careful that football is a team game. It's a great, we want to separate it a little bit too much, if that makes any sense. I mean, what one does is determined by the other side.
Jim, I think we ask you about this every year at this thing, but FSU.
Asking you.
That's right. Yeah. FSU. If you could move the FSU Florida game, would you coming off?
I don't know if I want to answer. I brought that up when I was the first year as a head coach. I think it's the only reason you would think about it because it's a rivalry game, but it's a non-conference game. That's where the difference between our rivalry and South Carolina Clemson's and Georgia Tech's. I think that's the difference in all the other leagues. All the rivalry games are within the league, and they determine a conference championship. So that's, if you lose that game anyway, you don't win a conference championship. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to say I would have to think about that. The tradition of it being late is good, but if you think about it, there is merit. If you think about the ultimate thing, which is to win a national championship, because if you play that game in the beginning of the year and you won it, now that puts you immediately in the national title hunt. And if you were ranked high and you lost it, there's still time to recover from an early loss as you battle back through the season. I mean, in a game of that significance. Now, they're great to have at the end. I mean, from that standpoint. But do you want to mess with tradition and all that?
Jimbo, the fans always bring this up, so I just want to ask you about it. The jersey, I know you're traditional when it comes to Florida State helmet and uniforms, all that kind of stuff. Has anyone approached you recently about having more of these special nights of whiteout night or a blackout night?
No, they haven't. They
Do we
haven't.
know better than that?
I don't know that, but I think they've proven it doesn't make you play any better. I mean, it doesn't make you. It does not. Because what jersey you play does not make you play one bit better. And actually, it doesn't sell any more tickets either. You can say that all you want. I mean, it doesn't sell any more tickets.
Even just to have that.
And exactly. But I think as your program grows, you can handle those situations. And I think we're, you never know. You never know. I'm not going to say we're not going to do that.
With this team, you just had 11 guys drafted, but is there a chance you even have more talent, or it's as talented?
I don't know if we have more, but I think we have a chance to be a talented football team. I said that we have more junior and senior starters this year than we did last year. And I mean, Jernigan's talented, McAllister's talented, Mario Edwards is talented, Telvin's talented, Tyler Hunter, Carlos, Darby. I mean, all those guys are, extremely talented too. I mean, Latham, offensively. I think we're a talented football team. I do. I mean, I think we have talent. We have to have character now and consistency.
All those DBs that were coming off surgeries or whatever in the spring,
No, everybody's good. Everybody's good. I don't expect, from the last report I got, which was last week, right before the Northern camp, that there'll be any instances where guys that had surgeries at least won't be ready to play from everything we got. Unless something's happened in the meantime.
I just want to ask you real quick on the tweet you sent out, I guess, through FSU to Candy for your anniversary. Just give us the backstory on that.
No, it's Wednesday. She's away. I mean, she always, because our anniversary, we got married like that. It's just, I'm always in a camp. I'm at one of these things. I'm getting ready for, sometimes the emphasis isn't put there, so I'm trying to get some brownie points. I'm trying to get some brownie points. It's a tough place to have an anniversary because there's so much going on at this time of the year.
I asked her what she thought, and she responded, I can't find it, but she said something like it was special or something.
She's probably shocked. Probably didn't fall over the heart attack. Probably didn't give her a heart attack. Shocker. I've been accused of not being very personal. As far as that, compassionate, I guess that's the best word. Like I say, it's like my dad said, when you did what you're supposed to, well, that's what he's supposed to do, ain't it?
Nick O'Leary's obviously just talked about him and what you expect.
Tell you what, he weighed 247. That's the heaviest he's been. Nick's weighing 247, they say right now, and it looks very good. He wrecked that daggone scooter. He was banged up for about a month, a knucklehead from scooter. Well, that's the other thing, is my pain in the rear end. But I understand why they have them. If I was him, I'd have had one too. So I'm not sitting there arguing that, debating that. But he looks really good. I mean, I think his knowledge. They say he's back to running good and everything, and he's healthy. And he walked through the office. I mean, he's 247 pounds. So from that standpoint, I'm very excited.
What did he go last year?
A lot of the year, he started about 230. He's down about 232, 233, 231 at times. I mean, he lost a lot of weight, and he's really upped his frame.
Who had the biggest body change you think so far that you know of?
For next year?
Up or down, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you don't really have anybody changing positions, but
Rashad's played. He got down to 168 pounds. Like, he's up to 180 now. I mean, there. I tell you what, Jameis. Yeah, remember Jameis was about 202, 203 when he came in. He's 227, and it's a good. I mean, still running and flying. I mean, that's 26 pounds.
And he was about 190 at senior year of high school or something like that.
195.
Right?
He was 195. He came in at 201. He came in at 201 at that time, and I think EJ, when he came in, was about 206, 207 their freshman year. But he's put on. He's bigger. He's put on. He's 226. I think he went 227, 228 the other day. They said, and where he was at. That's what he told me. So I think there. I'm trying to think who else. Telvin's putting on weight good. Wilder stays the same. If he's in that 227 to 232 range, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That body now, God, he needs to rent that thing out.
I'll take it.
Everybody like, just walk around one day with it. Walk around one day with it. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, he is ridiculous now. I'm trying to think either receivers. Somebody else. Who was weighing? I'm trying to go through. That's good talent. I would probably say those two be the most dramatic. I mean, I don't think any D lineman we missed or anybody there.
And Willie's back into 100%.
He's been in pretty good shape. He's been in pretty good shape.
Does Rashad have a chance to have a breakout year? I mean,
I hope
good,
so.
Obviously.
I hope so. I mean, he'll get his chances. He's going to get the ball, and I think the durability, I think, will be a big thing too. You got to remember, you're 170 pounds. It's hard. I mean, you get banged and bruised. People. I mean, he went through some tough like that. We didn't practice a lot in different situations and wear and tear on your body. You know what I mean? Because he's not a heavy bone guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to be careful. But he has a chance. I mean, he's very dynamic. He wants it. He accepts that role. I mean, he'll take it every time. You know what I mean? And another one in a good way. KB's body is really, his body fats dropped over 10%. It's under 10% now.
Is he still at 242?
No, he's about 235. But I mean, his body. I mean, he's the durability and they say he's running really well. I was thinking in the other direction. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking grow, but I guess from the other direction.
Joiner's down to 190. He said 196 or 190. Something
Yeah,
like that, per
Joiner's
corner.
days, he's hard, tough. I mean, he's body. He got a great body too. Strong. I mean, he's strong.
Going back to Rashad, why, in your opinion, do you think he's maybe flown into the national radar, so to speak?
Well, I think we've had a lot of guys catch balls. You know what I mean? And I think he's just a sophomore. I mean, and you got to remember, he's had 90-something catches. I mean, if he's on pace now, he ends up one of the top guys in school history. Is that right?
Yeah.
And we're getting it to him every way we can. We're trying to get it to him in punt returns. You know, trying to get him to touch it. Reverses, hits and reverses, different things. So I just think, I don't know. They miss out. They miss them. And there's so many receivers. I mean, there's so many guys out there. I mean, you look at the draft. I mean, unless you're a significant guy, I mean, unless you're elite with a Calvin Johnson or a big, I mean, most of your receivers go second, fourth round anymore. Because there's so daggone many of them. Running backs have turned that way too. Unless you're just an elite. It's mainly offensive linemen, quarterbacks, and tight ends. On offense, go in the first round because there's so daggone many guys. Now, I don't mean they can't be elite, play, and do all that. And I think he is. I think Rashad. Yeah, remember, that's another guy nobody wanted.
Yeah.
Everybody, why are you taking him? That was another one. It turned out to be pretty daggone good.
Greg Penn status.
It's still legal status. It's still where it was.
He's just off the team.
Yeah, until that runs its course. Yeah.
Since we're getting so close to the year, have you guys already started thinking if there's a possibility of being without him for the year?
Oh yeah, you have to. I mean, you always have a plan either way. When that first happened, back then you have to have that dynamic. I always do that with all players.
Speaking of bodies and guys, Kelvin Benjamin, where's he at?
Yeah, he said 235.
Sorry?
He said 235.
He's around 235.
No, but I mean, yeah.
No, but I mean, he's doing great in school.
Were there higher expectations than maybe were fair on him last year?
I think it definitely were because I mean the kids talked about him, they got excited about him. But I remember he hadn't played football in a year. You know what I'm saying? And over that, he only played a couple years of high school football. I mean, his learning to be consistent. And I think part of this too. I think people, you got to do the spectacular thing. And he always felt pressured that he had to go do something special. No. I can tell you now, like in the spring, when I play, hey, you just run that drag route, you run that curl route, you run those things. You'll do more when it's just doing normal. It'll happen for you, and that's the thing. It's emerging. I think he's doing great. He's doing really good in school, and he's see that pressure off of him a little bit. Hey, I can do this. If I catch a drag, I can turn it. If I catch a go, I mean, he's just really relaxing now and just playing within the offense, and it's getting him much more consistent.
Have you?
Because he's a phenomenal kid. He's a great kid.
Have you had much input in the AD search, or have they talked to you about?
I mean, everybody asks for your opinion, guys out there and things like that. They'll hit you in some suggestions and stuff, but no, they're going through that.